Okay, this is my first YouTube video. This is going to be kind of an introduction. I'm going to show you all the stuff I have and working on, stuff like that. Seen a few other channels where people document almost everything they do out in their garages and their shops, and I thought it was kind of neat, and I thought I'd do it myself. So this video here, I'm just going to give you a quick glimpse of my cars, and then I'm going to go to what I'm working on now. Okay, we'll start out with my 68 Torino. Give you a quick glance at it. I'm not going to tell you too much about it yet. We're going to take each car I got and I'll make a separate video in detail. Tell you a little about it, what I've done to it, the history of it, how long I've had it, stuff like that. But there's my 68 Torino. In this trailer here is my 64 Fairlane. Okay, I run this in the Pro ET bracket class. I'll tell you a little bit about it later. You can see what the last dial on it ran. Trailer is a mess. Been a lot going on. Illnesses in the family. I haven't been able to work on much of anything here lately. I probably won't be doing any racing this year, but I want to eventually get some videos of this car running to put on YouTube. Try onboard camera, stuff like that. And in case you're wondering, it's got a big block stroker motor in it, 514. There's the back of it. Normally the car has some 14 by 32 inch slicks on it. Right now it's got little tiny street tires on it, which look kind of goofy. I put them on for the winter because I don't like my slicks to sit out in the cold weather. I store them in the basement. And the slicks didn't have very many passes on them. Okay, there's the 64 Fairlane and the trailer. Now here's a quick glimpse at the reason I probably won't be racing this year. In this garage, well, outside the garage, you see the rear end and leaf springs out of my 94 Powerstroke, which I pull my trailer with. Truck is a low mileage truck. It's a Powerstroke turbo diesel. 94, I think that's the first of the Powerstrokes. It's a fairly low mileage. I think it's got about 115 on it if I remember exactly. But it was starting to look bad, rusting out. Frame looked really bad. Before I had to quit working on it, I had this truck tore down like you see it here, and I did get the frame sandblasted. It's starting, a little bit of rust is starting to come back through. So that'll be my next project. I'm going to get started back on it after I finish the job I'm working on right now. I'll explain in detail to that too and try to give you a blow by blow of the progress, I guess. Okay, this is my dad's old 56 Ford Jubilee tractor. And what I'm working on with it right now, I've got an old sickle mower attached to it. Back when me and my dad used to do a little farming, we had beef cattle, we cut hay, stuff like that. We used to cut a lot of hay with this old mower. And what I'm doing to it is, all the blades were super dull on this thing. Those blades there, those knives I think they call them, weren't too bad. I'm going to stone those off and sharpen them. What was really dull were these blades. Go right here. The knife guards, I believe. If you can see, they have no edge whatsoever. I guess it got the job done back when we used to cut hay. We're talking 25 years ago. Because it's just hay, you know. And what I want to do with this, I want to cut grass with it. And that's the reason I dug this thing out and get it going again. And that's what I'm wanting to do. You see out here, this is my mother's place. I mow all that. And this is my yard. There's probably about a half acre in front of the house. And I got about 1 acre behind this garage around here. But what I was getting at is I mow all that with a 42-inch riding mower, and that kind of sucks. This field just feels like it takes forever. Reason I'm wanting to get this sickle mower going, I want to at least mow this field. I'm hoping it'll knock a lot of time off. I know the zero-turn mower is probably the best answer, but I don't want to spend $5,000 to $6,000, maybe $8,000 for a riding mower to mow property that my mother may sell eventually. So, for memory's sake, I want to get this old sickle mower going and try to cut some grass with it. I've been seeing some other videos on YouTube, and it looks like when the blades are good and sharp, they cut grass pretty well, especially out in a big open field like that. I'm sure it'll be good enough. But anyway, that's what I'm working on now. I'm going to have to get these rivets out of all of these little knives and replace the blades. Got new blades right here. Found those on eBay for a really good price. I have all new clamps. You can see them in that package. Got to replace those. My old ones were worn pretty thin. As you can see the sharp edge on them. And from what I've read, that's what clamps your knife bar that goes back and forth down, and that's what sets your clearances so it'll cut well. These are the wear plates. They're grooved pretty bad on this edge. I'm thinking all I gotta do is flip them around. Anybody who watches this knows a little bit about sickle mowers and can tell me a better way to do things the way I'm going to be doing it, let me know, because I haven't worked on a lot of these old things. I'm mostly into the old muscle cars and like building my race car and working on my old Torino and stuff. But I like anything old, and this tractor has some sentimental value, and so I'm wanting to keep it going, fix it up. It runs pretty well. Just last year I got it running again. It got to where it didn't want to start unless you charged the battery every time. Dad was letting it sit outside. He couldn't mess with it no more. And he finally passed away about a month ago, so I've got it over here. But last year I did put a new wiring harness on it, and that solved all the charging problems. Had the old generator checked out. It checked out fine after sitting outside all those years. New regulator, new solenoid, and I just left the 6-volt system on it. Had the starter rebuilt. I don't think it needed it, but I had it checked and they did a few things to it. They didn't charge much, but it wasn't very costly. The wiring harness was like $39. I wired up the lights, got them working. I need to get another new switch. The new switch must have been a really cheap Taiwan job because it doesn't work already. And I'm missing a light bulb. Well, actually I have the bulb. I need the new clamp. It clamps the bulb into the housing there. But it's a good running old tractor. And I guess that's all in my first video here. I will keep you updated on what I'm doing to this mower. That's all for now.